The way a person carries themselves can change long before they notice it. A slightly rounded shoulder, a slower step, a tighter neck, or the habit of sitting for hours may seem harmless today, but repeated thousands of times, these patterns can teach the body a completely different way to move. And the surprising part is that aging isn't always the reason behind these changes. Some of the smallest habits repeated throughout the day can influence your muscles, balance, breathing, energy, and even the confidence you feel when you walk into a room. Today, we're going to uncover what is really happening inside the body, which everyday behaviors quietly work against you, and the simple changes that can help you move with more strength, ease, and independence. Stay until the end, because one overlooked habit may be affecting the way you carry yourself more than anything else. Start with something simple. Notice how you stand when nobody is asking you to stand tall. Perhaps your shoulders drift forward, maybe your head sits slightly ahead of your chest, your knees may lock, your weight may shift onto one leg, or your stomach may relax forward. None of this means something is seriously wrong. In fact, these positions are often the result of repetition rather than a single injury. The body is remarkably adaptable. It becomes efficient at whatever you ask it to do repeatedly. Spend hours sitting at a desk, looking down at a phone, leaning toward a computer, or relaxing into a deep chair, and your nervous system begins to recognize those positions as familiar. Certain muscles do less work while others remain tense for longer periods. Over time, the position that once felt temporary can begin to feel normal. This is why simply telling yourself to stand straight often doesn't solve the problem. Posture is not just about willpower. It involves muscles, joints, balance, vision, breathing, and the brain's sense of where your body is in space. And this becomes particularly important as the years pass. After 50 or 60, muscle mass naturally becomes easier to lose if you are inactive. Balance can become less automatic. Joint movement may become more limited. None of these changes mean that decline is inevitable, but they do mean that the habits you practice every day become increasingly important. One of the most powerful habits is also one of the easiest to underestimate, moving regularly instead of remaining in one position for too long. The problem isn't simply sitting. Sitting is part of normal life. The problem is uninterrupted sitting for long periods, followed by very little movement. When your muscles stay inactive, they are not regularly practicing the job of supporting your body. The muscles around your hips, back, and legs may become weaker, while your joints spend less time moving through comfortable ranges. There is another effect that matters. Your muscles are not only responsible for producing movement, they also help regulate blood glucose. When muscles contract, they can pull glucose from the bloodstream and use it for energy. Regular movement therefore gives your body another opportunity to handle the energy coming from food. That is one reason a short walk after a meal can be useful. It does not need to be intense exercise. Even gentle movement gets your muscles working. And there is a second benefit. Walking regularly gives your brain thousands of small opportunities to practice balance and coordination. Every step requires information from your eyes, inner ear, joints, and muscles. Your brain combines those signals and adjusts your body from moment to moment. This is where most people make the mistake. They wait until balance becomes noticeably worse before thinking about balance. A better approach is to practice movement while you are still capable and comfortable. Walk regularly. Change direction. Stand up from a chair without using your hands when it is safe for you. Carry light objects appropriately. Take the stairs when your joints and cardiovascular health allow it. These ordinary movements remind your body that strength and coordination are still required. But the real surprise comes next. The way you breathe can influence the way you carry yourself. When the body is relaxed, breathing usually happens without much thought. The diaphragm, a large muscle beneath the lungs, moves downward as you inhale and upward as you exhale. Your ribs and chest also move, but when someone spends much of the day hunched forward, stressed, or holding tension in the neck and shoulders, breathing mechanics can change. Some people begin relying more heavily on the muscles around the upper chest and neck. They may feel as though they are constantly lifting their shoulders to take a breath. This can contribute to tension around the neck, upper back, and shoulders. Try something simple. Sit comfortably. Let your shoulders drop. Place one hand on your upper chest and another around your lower ribs or abdomen. Take a slow, comfortable breath without forcing it. Notice where the movement occurs. The goal isn't to breathe dramatically or take enormous breaths. The goal is simply to allow breathing to remain comfortable and relaxed. This matters because tension can create a cycle. Tight shoulders encourage a guarded posture. That posture can make breathing feel less comfortable. The discomfort can create more tension, which reinforces the same pattern. Breaking that cycle can be as simple as taking regular pauses during the day, relaxing your shoulders, changing position, and allowing a few slow breaths. And now here's why this matters even more after 50. Strength is one of the foundations of how you carry yourself. A person can have perfectly healthy bones and joints, but still develop a weaker, less stable posture because the muscles supporting the body are no longer being challenged enough. This is particularly important for the legs and hips. Strong legs make it easier to rise from a chair, climb stairs, walk outside, recover from a stumble, and remain independent. Resistance training doesn't have to mean lifting extremely heavy weights. Depending on your health and fitness level, it may involve bodyweight movements, resistance bands, machines, or appropriately chosen weights. The key is progressive challenge. Muscles need a reason to maintain or increase their strength. A common myth is that strength training is mainly for younger people who want larger muscles. The truth is that maintaining strength becomes especially valuable with age. The goal does not have to be bodybuilding. The goal can be keeping enough strength to perform ordinary life without constantly depending on someone else. Think about getting up from the floor, carrying groceries, lifting a suitcase, opening a heavy door, getting out of a car, standing for several minutes while cooking. These are not athletic events. They are independent skills. And if those movements are becoming harder, that is useful information. It doesn't mean you have failed. It means your body is telling you where training may be needed. Start at an appropriate level. If you have significant pain, balance problems, or a medical condition that affects exercise, speak with a qualified healthcare professional before beginning a new training program. But strength is only part of the picture. Your joints also need movement. A joint is where two or more bones meet, allowing your body to bend, rotate, or move. Around those joints are muscles, tendons, ligaments, and other tissues that work together to create controlled movement. When you rarely move a joint through its comfortable range, that movement can begin to feel unfamiliar or stiff. This does not mean every stiff joint needs aggressive stretching. In fact, forcing a painful joint can make matters worse. Gentle movement is often the better starting point. Move your shoulders through comfortable circles, turn your head gently without forcing it, move your ankles, bend and straighten your knees, walk regularly, change positions. The objective is to remind your body that movement is normal. This is particularly helpful in the morning. After hours of lying still, your body may naturally feel stiff. Instead of immediately demanding large movements, give yourself a few minutes of gentle activity. And there is something else people often overlook: footwear and walking habits. The shoes you wear affect how your feet interact with the ground. Your feet provide information to the nervous system about pressure, balance, and position. If footwear is uncomfortable or unstable, you may unconsciously change the way you walk. That can affect your knees, hips, and back. This doesn't mean there is one perfect shoe for everyone. It means comfort, stability, and appropriate fit matter, particularly if you already have foot or balance problems. But before you change everything about the way you walk, there is one mistake you must avoid. Don't try to force your body into an exaggerated posture. Pulling the shoulders aggressively backward, pushing the chest forward, sucking in the stomach all day, or keeping the chin unnaturally high may actually create more tension. Healthy posture is not a military pose. A healthy body changes position. It shifts weight, it relaxes, it moves. It doesn't remain perfectly still. Instead of thinking, I need to stand perfectly straight, try thinking, I want my body to feel balanced and comfortable. Let your head sit naturally over your body. Allow your shoulders to relax. Keep your knees soft rather than locked. Distribute your weight between your feet. Take comfortable breaths, then move. That last word is important. Your body was not designed to hold one perfect position all day. Now consider something that seems completely unrelated to posture: sleep. Poor sleep can influence the way you carry yourself the following day. When you are exhausted, you may move less, react more slowly, feel more irritable, and have less motivation to exercise. You may also spend more time sitting. Sleep is when the body gets important opportunities for recovery. The brain also uses sleep to support memory, emotional regulation, and normal biological processes. So if you consistently sleep poorly, the problem isn't simply feeling tired in the morning. Fatigue can change the behavior that follows. You skip the walk because you're tired. You sit longer because you're tired. You avoid strength training because you're tired. Then your body receives less movement and less physical stimulation. That is how small habits can connect. A better evening routine can therefore support the way you carry yourself the next day. Keep a reasonably consistent sleep schedule. Reduce stimulating activities close to bedtime. Make your sleeping environment comfortable and dark when possible. And if persistent snoring, breathing interruptions, severe daytime sleepiness, or other symptoms are affecting your sleep, talk to a healthcare professional. The next habit may sound almost too simple. Stop rushing every movement. When people become worried about falling, they may start moving in a guarded way. They take smaller steps, avoid turning quickly, keep their eyes fixed on the ground, and tense their muscles. Some caution is sensible, especially when walking on slippery or uneven surfaces. But constantly moving with fear can reduce natural movement and confidence. Safe exposure to normal movement can help maintain coordination. Walk at a comfortable pace. Look ahead rather than permanently staring at your feet. Practice turning carefully. Pay attention to obstacles. If balance is a concern, use appropriate support and consider professional balance training. Your brain needs practice. Balance is not simply a muscle problem, it is a communication system. Your eyes tell the brain what is around you. Your inner ear provides information about movement and orientation. Sensors in your muscles and joints provide information about position. The brain processes all of it and produces a response. The more you use this system appropriately, the more opportunities your brain has to practice. And this brings us to something many people don't expect. Your mood can influence how you carry yourself too. When someone feels stressed, discouraged, or anxious, they may naturally become more guarded. Shoulders rise, breathing changes, movements become smaller, the face may become tense. This does not mean posture causes depression or that simply standing differently can fix emotional problems. Mental health is much more complicated than that, but the connection between emotions and body language is real enough to notice in everyday life. When you're under pressure, take a moment to unclench your jaw, lower your shoulders, breathe comfortably, and move your body. A short walk can be useful not because it magically eliminates stress, but because movement changes your physical state and gives your mind a break from continuous sitting and rumination. And here is another important habit. Don't let pain automatically become complete inactivity. Pain should be respected, not ignored. Sharp, severe, unexplained, or persistent pain deserves proper medical evaluation. But for many ordinary aches and stiffness problems, staying completely still can sometimes contribute to further deconditioning. The appropriate response depends on the cause. If a joint hurts, don't simply push through it. Find out why. If your back hurts repeatedly, get appropriate advice. If you experience sudden weakness, loss of coordination, severe chest pain, or other concerning symptoms, seek medical attention promptly. The goal is not to become your own doctor. The goal is to understand that movement, strength, sleep, breathing, and daily posture are connected pieces of the same system. Now let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes people make. They try to change everything overnight. They buy equipment. They begin an intense workout. They decide to walk an hour every morning, stretch for 30 minutes, completely change their sleep schedule, and fix their posture at the same time. For a few days, motivation is high, then the body becomes sore, the schedule becomes difficult, life gets busy, the routine disappears. Consistency beats intensity when the goal is a long-term habit. Start with something so easy that you can actually repeat it. Stand up every 30 to 60 minutes when practical. Walk for a few minutes. Practice sitting and standing with control. Take a few comfortable breaths. Do a small amount of strength work several times a week if appropriate for you. Move your joints gently, protect your sleep, then build gradually. You don't need a perfect day. You need enough ordinary days pointing in the same direction. And here's the bonus tip that can make all of this easier. Attach movement to something you already do. After breakfast, take a short walk. After lunch, walk for several minutes if comfortable. While waiting for the kettle, perform a few gentle movements. Before sitting down in the evening, walk around the house once or twice. Habits become easier when they have a trigger. You don't have to rely on motivation every time. Your routine tells you what comes next. Over weeks and months, these tiny decisions can add up. Your muscles receive more practice, your joints move more regularly, your balance gets more opportunities to work, your brain receives more movement information, your cardiovascular system gets more activity, your body becomes familiar with standing, walking, lifting, reaching, and changing position again, and gradually, the way you carry yourself can begin to change. Not because you forced yourself into a perfect pose, because you gave your body better instructions. That is the deeper lesson here. How you carry yourself is not simply about looking confident. It is about whether your body has the strength, mobility, balance, and coordination to support the life you want to live. A strong posture is useful because it can accompany strong movement. Flexible joints are useful because they allow you to move through daily life. Strong legs are useful because they protect independence. Good sleep is useful because recovery matters. Regular walking is useful because the body benefits from movement, and calm, controlled breathing can help you avoid carrying unnecessary tension throughout the day. None of these habits guarantees perfect health. They don't stop aging, and they are not substitutes for medical care, but they can influence how you experience aging. There is a major difference between saying, I'm getting older, so this is just how my body is now, and saying, my body is changing, so I need to give it the right kind of support. That second mindset is powerful because the goal isn't to become 30 again. The goal is to make 60, 70, 80, and beyond as capable, comfortable, and independent as your circumstances allow. Sometimes the most important changes are not dramatic. They are the extra walk, the chair you stand up from instead of sitting in for another hour, the few minutes of strength training you almost skipped, the comfortable breath you take before continuing your day, the decision to go to bed instead of endlessly scrolling, the decision to investigate persistent pain rather than simply accepting it. These choices may look insignificant in isolation, but the body experiences repetition. What you do occasionally has an effect. What you do every day can become part of how your body functions. So the next time you catch yourself rounding forward, moving stiffly, or feeling older than you want to feel, don't immediately blame your age. Pause. Ask what your body has been practicing. Has it been practicing sitting or walking? Has it been practicing weakness or strength? Has it been practicing tension or relaxed movement? Has it been practicing avoiding movement or confidently using the body you still have? Those questions can change the way you approach aging. Your body is not a machine that suddenly expires on a particular birthday. It is a living system that responds to what you repeatedly ask of it. And that means there is room for improvement. Start small, move more often, strengthen the muscles that support your daily life, give your joints comfortable movement, protect your sleep, pay attention to balance, relax unnecessary tension, and most importantly, don't wait for a major problem before you begin caring for the basic movements that keep you independent. The way you carry yourself tomorrow is being influenced by what you practice today. So don't chase perfection. Build better patterns. One walk, one stretch, one strength exercise, one good night's sleep, one conscious decision to get up and move. Those small choices may not feel dramatic today, but years from now, they may be part of the reason you are still walking confidently, getting out of a chair without hesitation, carrying your own bags, enjoying your surroundings, and living your life with greater independence. And that is what healthy aging should really be about, not simply adding years to life, but preserving as much ability, freedom, and confidence as possible within those years. Now, I'd love to know, what habit do you think most affects the way you carry yourself, walking, sitting, sleep, exercise, or something else? Share it in the comments because your experience may help someone else recognize a pattern in their own life. And if this video gave you something useful to think about, take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and watch the next video for another simple habit that can make a meaningful difference as you get older.